I know what you guys like. What's up, guys? The last couple memes have been inspired and limericks from my guy Robert. Again, at Robert Maxwell Strength on Instagram, writes all these limericks. Those are not written by me. So go give him a follow. We are going to release a book at some point and donate all the profits to charity. Um, but the last couple memes, the sumo, the arching, inspired by current events going on. Griggs pulling the 1,074 pound deadlift sumo on the kabuki bar. IPF is talking about banning the arch in the bench press, and I am supremely interested as to what rule alterations or what rules they're going to implement to ban this. I heard a proposed flat back rule, which if that goes, that's RIP IPF. You can't. Some people, your spine curves naturally. Yeah, a complete flat back ain't gonna happen. I'm not really a fan of any rule changes, to be honest, right now. In regards to the arch, outside of make the lifter unrack and re-rack themselves without spotters or without a handoff. That would be the only feasible one, in my opinion. I've heard some depth calls with the elbows in regards to the bench and things like that. And, there's only three judges and they're already looking at your butt and your feet and the bar itself. And that's too much for me, in my opinion, as well. Anyway, all of that said, I like variety. I think variety is good. How many people have said powerlifting is boring? And they're not wrong. Powerlifting is boring as a spectator sport for sure. Um, and, the more uniform it is, the more boring it is, honestly. Could you imagine the NBA and, the only way to score was free throws? We're just going to have a free throw shooting contest. There'd be no dunks. There'd be no three pointers. You wouldn't have to worry about passing, handling the ball, all that stuff. Football went back to the old days and did away with the forward pass. Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of intrigued by just 11 players lining up in Smash Mouth football. But at the end of the day, it's going to be less spectator friendly. It's going to change the dynamics of the athletes on the field and things like that. Uh, Baseball went to a pitching machine and everybody got, 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, but you're only allowed to bunt. That's the only, and, it would be boring as fuck. So I am for, wide stance squats, Olympic style squats, sumo deadlifts, conventional deadlifts, frog stance, hook grip, over under, all of these, mega arches on bench, flat back bro bench, etc., etc. All these ways score. You score the most, you win. That's the end of the day. Whoever does the most objective, by whatever means within the rules, wins. You can say that the spirit of the sport was meant to compare legs, upper body, and back. And maybe it was. Maybe that's the spirit of the sport. Spirit of the sport of basketball didn't have dunking in it. In fact, dunking was outlawed at one time. Um, I'm not sure if they. I think they couldn't dribble at first in basketball. I think you could only pass the ball to advance the ball. Anyway, sports evolve and change. Athletes get better. Movement economy gets better, and in my opinion, movement economy is something that should be rewarded and strived for in athletics. Um, and honestly, the bar, the kabuki bar, seems to be making a big difference. That's outside of the athlete's control. The big money meets are having kabuki bars now. It is what it is. And the mega arches, it's small men and ladies is where it's most prominent. Everyone arches to a degree. Almost everyone. There maybe are some completely flat back benchers out there, but so you can't. It's unless you're going to take a measuring tape up there after each lifter gets set up, which isn't logistically feasible. It's hard to say you can only arch this much or that much. And the human eye has to be able to discern it. That's why we use landmarks for judging. You know, hip crease, top of the knee, bar touching the chest, being full range of motion, because the human eye can see. The human eye can't differentiate 89 degrees and 90 degrees. You know, you don't squat to 90 degrees. You squat when the hip crease at the top of the thigh breaks the top of the knee. So I've never seen arches as a big problem anyway. Again, it's I think Sean Noriega is the poster boy for arches, and he's a 181, and he may be the heaviest male with that mega arch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm here for all of it. I think it's all great. I don't think there needs to be changes. I don't think it makes the sport look bad. Uh, Again, in the big picture, there's not a lot of those mega arches. A lot of people are just complaining because they see the same arch video, 2,000 times over, and ignore the other hundreds of bench presses in that same meet that didn't have that arch. I think it should be celebrated personally. I think it's a good thing. Anyway, y'all can argue about it in the comments. Let me know what you think.